Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor 44 did not tell us in the edited TV show. Some of these are game related, some are strategic, and some are just plain silly. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on TV, it's fair game to be considered a secret. And heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting. Not every single secret in existence about this season is in this video. So with that, let's count all 44 of them in absolutely no particular order. Number 1. So starting with this season, Jeff Probst, along with 2 other people who are producers for TV, one of them is actually the producer for the show, Brittany, started a new Survivor podcast called On Fire with Jeff Probst. It released every week after the episode ended, and it contains quite a lot of thoughts from the people who make the show. It has some good stuff in it, but for some reason, once again, Jeff tries to present this idea that there is no such thing as a winner's edit.
We're just trying to tell the best story at the best time. It's not like we get the winner's edit too.
Yeah, there's no such thing as winner's edit. And I mean, I've run into people on the street who tell me they've already heard actually that there is. And I say, okay, I know, but I work on the show and I'm telling you there isn't. I don't even know what a winner's edit is.
But I have to point out that a few weeks prior to this episode releasing, he said in an interview that after Gabler's edit and how it confused audiences, the show had to reevaluate once again how to convey to the audience who the winner's going to be, aka a winner's edit. And of course, there is this infamous clip of Jeff.
So it's this fantastic sort of reverse engineering mystery that we're writing that starts on day 39 and it goes back to day 1 and says, now we're going to take you on this journey. And there are clues all along the way about who's going to win this game.
But if you're still not convinced that there's a winner's edit, then let me show you a montage of the infamous Matt Chat. So you know how in the beginning of episode 1 of most seasons, Jeff will do a thing where he's like, hey, you in the back, what's your name? What do you do? That whole thing. Well, starting with season 33, if he talks to anyone, he talks to the winner. He'll talk to a few other people, don't get me wrong, but he always talks to the winner. That means that while watching the season, you'll have narrowed down who the winner is between like 3-4 people. So for Survivor 44, it was between Matthew, Franny, and Jam Jam. And as I said, this has been happening since season 33. Here's a montage.
Guy right here in the maroon, in the middle, what's your name?
Adam.
The winner of Survivor Millennials versus Gen X, Adam. Guy in the cowboy hat, what's your name? Ben. The winner of Survivor, Ben. Guy in the back, in the middle, what's your name?
Nick.
The winner of Survivor, David versus Nick. Right here in the middle, what's your name?
Erica.
The winner of Survivor 41, Erica. Woman in the front, your smile. You haven't stopped smiling since you got in the sand. What's your name?
Marianne.
The winner of Survivor 42, Marianne. Guy in the back right with the beanie.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Gabler, Mike Gabler.
The winner of Survivor 43, Gabler. That's 5, that's enough. Guy in the front, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jam Jam.
The winner of Survivor 44, Jam Jam.
Oh yes, there's definitely no winner's edit. Number 2, do you remember the scene between Josh and Jam Jam where they weren't at odds? It was like the only scene between them where they weren't at odds. It was back after Sarah was voted off, and Jam Jam and Josh are like clearly bored. There's nothing to talk about. So they talk about being gay men. Now here's what the producer, Brittany, says about this on the podcast.
What is it you're trying to illustrate there?
That vulnerability leads to bonding. They both shared something intimate and now they have a potential alliance.
So it's the game change that can happen
when
you're willing to share.
Right, and it happens so fast on Survivor. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm, trying to put this episode together. I'm tracking these relationships, and that was a big moment. They hit a turning point and they went from adversaries to potential allies.
Do you buy what she says? I know I didn't buy it the first time she said it, and I went back and watched the scene. I was like, maybe I missed it the first time, but no, it definitely feels like it's just shoehorned into the show because it completely goes against the Jam Jam versus Josh narrative the show has been portraying so far and will portray after this. So color me surprised when I hear Jam Jam say after the season,
Josh had many secrets because he thought he needed, he didn't say he was a doctor. And as soon as he hit the beach, I was like on his business that he was a doctor, a surgeon or whatever. I would question, he said he was a trainer, and then he was explaining his job, and then he would say and then on the weekends I was like, what do you do with your husband? I was like, oh, we go to the gym. And I was like, so you go to the gym 7 days a week? That kind of tension did not allow us to connect.
Number 3, This video could be 100 secrets if I only pulled up the crazy out of touch things said on the On Fire podcast, but let's do one more. Everyone likes 39 days. We all know they had the money and budget to do it for seasons 41 and 42, but COVID messed that up. Seasons 43 and 44 had much shorter quarantines, so at this point they're just doing 26 days as a cost-cutting measure, nothing more. I think it would be smart to either not address the topic at all, or just be honest if you are working for the show. But when Brittany, the producer, says this on the podcast, my eyes rolled so hard, like this feels so fake.
Because you're taking the most valuable reward, which is really not just the overnight and the food. It's that love. It's the letters from home that people really want.
Right. I mean, and you could see story-wise why it does that. There was instant emotion and tears at just the thought of the letter from home. It really reminds people how difficult this game is. I mean, 26 days not enough? I don't know. Seems like it to me.
By the way, thank you for watching Once Upon an Island. Liking and subscribing really helps, and if you want to pick what videos I make and watch every video weeks and even months early, then consider supporting the channel on Patreon. If that interests you, then check out the link in the description. Thank you for your support. Number 4. I love taking a look at the ads across all the eras of the show. Watching these secrets videos should give you a taste of that from most seasons. So with no theme and nothing to draw in new viewers, what did the show go with this time to advertise season 44?
If you've never watched Survivor, where have you been?
Bring it!
We dare you to watch the new season of Survivor, premiering March 1st on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Number 5. No winners edit, eh? Oh wait, I thought we already addressed that. Well, the promo for Survivor 44's finale surprisingly gives you a reason to root for 4 players and completely ignore one of them.
The season finale of Survivor 44. Our final 5. Carson.
Everyone here knows that I can beat them.
Carolyn.
It's really been a lot about trusting my heart.
Jam Jam.
My words are my weapons. I'm gonna use them to my advantage.
Lauren.
I'm fighting for my boys. I'm fighting for my family.
And Heidi. Settle in. It's the finale of Survivor 44.
I mean, Heidi only says wow. That's all she gets. Number 6. Claire's our new era sit-out queen. She refused to participate in any immunity challenge, and this actually brought out the old snarky Jeff Probst just for a little bit, which I appreciated. So what is her on-island excuse for sitting out of the challenges?
I think in my everyday life, I'm kind of controlling. I can be a little intense, a little forthcoming, and so I just want to approach this game a little differently than I approach my life, which is take a step back, breathe a little, and evaluate before I move, because you don't want to be perceived as playing hard. You see so many great players in this new era of Survivor who are playing almost perfect games get discovered too quickly. So I think it's really managing your threat level.
Number 7. You may or may not know that Bruce from season 44 will be on Survivor 45. He was in the promo for that season, but way back after episode 1 of Survivor 44, Jeff had already teased that Bruce is indeed returning.
I met Bruce before the pandemic. He's been in our casting process for a long time. He left his wife, he left his kids, he left his job. I mean, he's sitting on a log for most of it, but it's heartbreaking. In the spirit of what Survivor is all about, getting up off the couch, leaving your ordinary world behind, your family, your friends, left to fend for yourself in the jungle and say yes to adventure. I don't think Bruce got his fair share of Survivor. Here's the announcement. We are officially inviting Bruce to play Survivor again.
That's so exciting.
First player of the new era invited back.
Number 8. Speaking of Bruce, after knocking his head so hard and being pulled in less than 24 hours, does he even remember anything about this season?
I was told by the doctor when I went back, and the medical staff that, Bruce, take it easy, don't do anything. Like, your trial will be fine. They'll take care of you. They'll do what needs to be done. I didn't heed that. At all. So, the pain in my head was a 7 out of 10 for the entire day. And then once there was something that I did, and I kind of jolted forward, and it just boom, with my head and my neck doing what it did, it just kind of brought it to a 10. So it just made it unbearable.
Number 9. I know he was largely overshadowed in the season by the Tika 3. I mean, who wasn't? But do recall that in episode 1, Brandon finds the birdcage idol and gets a fake. But whatever happened to said fake? Well, in the secret scene from episode 8...
Let's go. And I'm just thinking, there we go. That's what we needed right now. A little momentum for the Kane Fritzler show. And then I kind of mosey off. and I'm walking down the beach, and I'm thinking, here we go, here we go, here we go. And I open it up. Congratulations, you found a hidden meeting idol when played a travel counts, but this is Brandon's fake. And I go, oh my God. And I knew it was out there, but he never told me where it actually was. So I have to do the walk of shame and go put the fake idol back where I found it. And at least I know that little cubby doesn't have an idol in it.
Number 10. So Kane re-hid Brandon's fake, but believe it or not, 2 episodes later, someone else finds it in this secret scene.
The lack of food, it sucks. Really, it's not fair. I feel like I could have been over there. Instead of like looking for this idol, dog. Congratulations, you found the enemy idol. You played a tribal. I played one, now I found another one. And it's a different color one. While they're out there eating, I'm in camp grinding. What did your guys, I don't know just what the shape I'm looking for.
Like, it was just a little package. Our fake one was the big one.
The big amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then he hid that somewhere here.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if anyone found it or...
Yeah, that was demoralizing for the moment, but, you know, whatever. I'll just keep looking.
Number 11, the On Fire podcast with Jeff has a section at the end where he addresses one question from a fan about how he is ruining the show in their opinion. In the beginning of the season, this segment seemed promising, but as those who listened will tell you, by the end it became nothing more than the producers picking easy questions. Not that it matters, Jeff usually responded like this every time.
Jeff, please no more analogies. You're not good at them, and the ones you use are annoying. We want to hear what the players think, not how the game is somehow like the movie Jaws. It's Survivor. It's not a shark.
I remember that analogy.
Bert.
I remember that. I thought the Jaws one was really good. All right, here's the truth. This one does actually hurt. And the reason it hurts is that I know I suck at analogies. But you know, hey, Bert is probably super bright. He's witty. Analogies roll off his tongue. Everybody likes him. And Survivor is just an amusing way for him to spend an hour. But Bert, this is my life. This is what I do all year. This is all I got. So imagine being me. And my memory is terrible. So I forget lots of things, including that I suck at analogies, which is why I continue to make them. So there will be more to come. Bert, so there. That's all I got.
Number 12. This season, we saw the continued reuse of challenges that Survivor's been doing for quite some time now that Carson completely took advantage of. Good for him. However, the producers on this podcast say this about Survivor 44 challenges.
Yeah, and they've changed a lot over the years. I feel like we're continuing to push the envelope in terms of builds and how big the challenges are, but also I feel like we push the players in terms of physical difficulty a lot more.
They're harder now? Are these people going insane? Survivor Guatemala literally starts with a 24-hour hike to their camp. In fact, I think that season might have the hardest challenges bar none. Number 13, Debbie from seasons 32 and 34 was a nut, and some liked it, some didn't, but Carolyn was clearly in the she liked it camp because she posted this online, and I wonder how much she wants to be like her.
Debbie, talk with us.
Debbie. Why don't the four of you just talk, make decisions, and then tell me? And then when you vote me out, why don't you just give Haley my clothes too?
Deb, come here.
Is she acting?
Haley wants to do the balance beam, even though she cost us peanut butter and jelly by dicking around for 10 damn minutes. Nauseating, it's frustrating, and I'm pissed! I don't explode in anger. I take it out in my workout. It's why I look like this and have an 8-pack. I was loyal to you, Brad. Completely, utterly. And you crushed my heart! Bring it on, Brad. Bring it.
Number 14, speaking of Carolyn, surprisingly, there are secret scenes about her. I know, shocking, considering how much content of her was in the show as is. That means that there's more cut content we don't know about, worth sharing about Tika 3 member. And in this one, she burns her clothes.
Are those pants too close to the fire? If they get on fire, it's whatever God's plan. It's your plan, don't be blaming God. Oh.
No? I should. The pants burned. Put it in the sand.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Carolyn, try putting them on.
Oh my God.
And you want to just have acceptance here? They're not even be able to see. You guys are going to be laughing at yourselves. Judging.
Number 15. Right after everyone merged onto one beach, some players were in rough shape, and in this secret scene, it's namely Josh.
Uh-oh, are you okay?
Is that Josh?
Yeah. Josh, are you okay?
You okay?
Yeah, I passed out. So I stood up too fast and I got real dizzy and I started kind of zoning in. You see the black zone and I passed out. Next thing I know, I woke up and Franny, Heidi, and Carolyn were there. So that's scary to me. You know, I haven't eaten like other people have. Everyone else on this beach has eaten or had a meal except Jam and I.
Oh, yeah.
Number 16. Matthew/MGM quit the show. It was completely justified. I don't blame him. I hope you don't, but he quit. No matter what mental gymnastics you try to do, he quit. He quit for his own health benefit. He needed to, really, but he wasn't pulled from the show. Jeff Probst, however, says it wasn't a quit, but I ask, what is it then?
Yeah, he didn't want to leave. And even though medical didn't pull him, he left on his own. It's not a quit. I mean, the guy was in intense pain. And even our Dr. Will said, I don't blame him. I mean, I'm not going to pull you because it's not life or death, but I get why you're doing that. And I'm with you. I like Matthew. He came, he played hard, and he made the right choice. He has a family and a career that he needs to look after.
Yeah, right.
Number 17. So when Matthew quit, we didn't get the full extent of his injuries told to us on the show, but in his exit interview, it sounds terrible.
I fractured my humerus and a piece about the size of a dime broke off, had to be removed. I fractured my scapula that had to be reattached. I tore my rotator cuff. I tore my labrum, which is the lining of your shoulder joint. I shifted my cartilage completely out of whack, and my subscapularis muscle had to be reattached.
Number 18. Did you know that Jeff had actually planned to make a worse version of Survivor 41? I'm not joking. Here's Jeff explaining this, and I must say I am glad he changed his mind.
It was going to be a survivor economy, and the question was, how will this change the society if you have to earn tokens and then buy everything? So we were ready to go, and then COVID hit, and we were postponed. And so I'm in my garage and I got 5 whiteboards. I literally been working on this for almost a year. In fact, my friend Alon Lee had built us an algorithm so that you could put any price you wanted for any item. So imagine we have a long list of items. You can buy palm fronds, you can buy rice, you could buy a fishing gear, whatever. And you can change the fire token amount and see how it will change the economy. I call Mike White, who had been on Survivor, pitch him this long pitch. And bless his little heart, he goes, well, I really trust you, Jeff. I only have one question. Does this sound fun? And I went, I gotta go. And I hung up and I went into the garage and I ceremoniously erased every whiteboard without taking a photo.
Number 19. When constructing a winner's edit, those definitely don't exist. You want to leave out scenes of the winner that don't help propel their winning tale, like in this secret scene from episode 4.
I mean, I did that. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. To see it burn, yeah.
Helping with the cooking, and I took the lid, which was hot with it, and I burned it. I know it's stupid, it's a piece of cloth, but this purple buff is Bruce, Sarah, Caroline, Carson, Helen, and myself only, nobody else.
I waited all this time to have it and I burned it.
Number 20. Is Carolyn on drugs? I know this question was asked quite a bit amongst the casual fan base during the season airing, and here is Carolyn addressing that question along with some others.
Is Carolyn on drugs? So no, I'm not on drugs. I've been sober now since May 20th, 2009. I'm not on drugs. Okay, next question. What is wrong with Carolyn on Survivor? Nothing is wrong with me. Next question. Is Carolyn on Survivor autistic? No! And why is it that we have to diagnose somebody who is different? It does not mean that because I am a little bit strange, a little bit weird, that I have a diagnosis. But if you do want to diagnose me with something, you can diagnose me with ADHD, because that's what I have.
Number 21. Since season 3, the show has been dropping surprise twists on players without giving them or us any heads up about them. AKA, this is a long-standing tradition of Survivor. So it's curious to me when Jeff says he doesn't like the Outcast twist for this reason.
Here's the truth. This was not my idea. I didn't like the idea. I pushed back on the idea as hard as I could, but I just didn't have enough power.
Why didn't you like it?
Several reasons. Most importantly, I just felt that we should have told them up front that there's going to be a twist and some of you will get a chance to get back into the game.
But then he did the exact same thing he said he didn't like in season 38, Edge of Extinction. Am I taking crazy pills?
Come on in.
Wait, what?
Are you serious?
Number 22. Danny looks like a typical dude bro, and in this secret scene, he openly acknowledges it and kind of makes fun of it.
Not that I'm capable whatsoever, but I think I'm probably the most capable at shelter building here.
So good.
All right, that's one, and I'm not even that sweaty yet. People sometimes get a wrong impression of me. I have maybe like a bro-ish frat boy jerk look. Uh-huh, that's right. I've been told once I look like I'm perpetually stuck in a dude's night out.
You know, it feels good to know living in New York that he's the one who will say that.
Once you get past the fact that, I look like a extra in like American Pie 5, I think I'm a pretty cool guy.
Oh, that's your man. Right there.
Number 23. Every season, someone wants to be the Aussie of their tribe. They want to be the provider. And for Survivor 44, it is Franny of the Soka tribe.
Something changed in me in the water. As soon as I had that spear in my hand, I was like, I'm the predator right now, and you all are the prey. Oh my God! I can't believe I did it! As soon as I speared that first fish, I couldn't believe it. I never would have thought that that's something I could do. And I caught 2 fish.
Number 24. Speaking of Franny, we have to ask, are her and Matt still together or are they possibly married?
You and Franny, happily ever after, road trips, Ethiopian food. I'm assuming that's what's happening now.
Yep, me and Franny, we're going strong, riding off into the sunset. Chowing down on our Ethiopian food.
Nice.
So, Frank and Chip fans, rejoice.
Number 25. Kane left the game with Jamie's fake idol in his pocket, and of course, neither of them knew it was fake until later on. But the question I have is, could Kane have given it back to her once he was voted off?
No. So the rule really is you can do anything up until I'm reading the votes. But once the vote read starts, that process has begun. And there's no more reaching into your bag to give somebody something because you sense it's going to be you. That's it. So he's out, and whatever he had on him goes with him, and that's the end.
Number 26. Speaking of Jamie, in her exit interview, Gordon Holmes asks if villains should come back to the show. He does this with a few people, but her answer is the most notable one because the more I listen to it, the more I'm confused. Maybe you all can interpret.
As a longtime fan, do you miss the Russell Hansons of the world, or is it a better experience having like this friendly Survivor?
Yes, I think that having the villains and the controversy, that's all really fun and entertaining to watch. But you're also playing a game that is going to transform you as an individual, whether you win or lose, being out there and tested to your limits with all of the elements. For me, I can't help but root for somebody, even if I'm competing. And I've been a competitor my entire life. I grew up playing sports, and it's like, I am going to cheer for you, not in a taunting type way, but like truly, the better you are, and when I beat you, you are that much better. And so when I win, you're like, we're all celebrating. Like I won, and I was able to cheer you on. And so it's like, it's fun to be competitive and to have the, digs and the anger that comes with like being a competitive person, but also because you're so vulnerable, there was nothing else to do but cheer each other on and up and through it, because at any of those challenges, it's anyone's game. Anybody can win. And anybody can have if you have a strong social game. So yeah, it was. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely.
Number 27. You may recall back in seasons 19 and 20 when Survivor did its own version of bowling. Despite not bringing back that lackluster challenge officially, players are still playing that game in their camps as seen in the secret scene.
I was the captain of my bowling team in high school.
Ooh,
What? Are you serious?
Big,
Really?
big hopes for you here.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Got her, queen.
Yeah!
Ready to be amazed.
Oh!
We were playing bowling. Happy.
Got her.
We were bowling. Caroline won the bowling challenge. We were having fun. You have good chances. It's not a puzzle.
Number 28. We all remember the infamous sock that Russell burned in season 19 and Sandra burning Russell's hat in season 20. The question I have is this still okay to do today? Can a player steal someone else's stuff?
Yes, it may not be a wise idea because it is a social game, but you could. Can you steal an idol or an advantage out of somebody's bag? That's a no. And really the dividing line is if it's player to player, then yeah, you could burn somebody's shoes as people have done. But if it's production related, if we're involved, then the answer is no.
Number 29. Why won't Survivor leave Fiji and go anywhere else? I know everyone's been asking it. Heck, even returning back to a past location might draw applause. Here is Jeff Probst's official explanation.
Here's the truth. I'll give you some of the reasons that our locations are now limited 20 years later. Finding a deserted place to shoot is much tougher because a lot of the places that we have shot at now have either resorts or homes on those islands. And then the budget, the value of the dollar in certain countries isn't as strong as it used to be. And our budget on this show does not go up. And then the last two things are political unrest, which there is a fair amount of around the world. And so there are places that we don't feel safe to go. And there are places that we wouldn't feel comfortable supporting. And then the environment. I mean, the extreme weather. I'm not going to get into a debate on global warming. I can only say something's changing because the storms are intense and that has knocked out a few locations as well.
Number 30. We all saw how tight the Tika 3 were and how they ran the game up and down. But did you know Carson was out there forming bonds with the others as well, promising them things he did not intend to follow through with.
I've got to start, figuring out how I can make Sarah still feel comfortable and make sure that we still can work together. But you should feel good because you are good. You know what I mean? If I'm in a good relationship with her, then I can kind of sway everything else to fit exactly how I want it to end up working out in the future.
Number 31. We all saw how no one believed Jamie when she attempted to tell the truth about her idol in Kane's pocket. Well, apparently, she reaped what she sowed when she didn't believe Matt talking about the birdcage on Soka.
Danny says,
Hey, Matt, we're going to go find the idol. Let's do it. We're going to walk.
so he says,
You should be reaching your hands in each one of these guys, bro.
And I found it. I went to go open it, and there was one idol in there. By the way, it was in these roots.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm thinking, it's weird that I only found one in the cage. So now I'm thinking that it's probably Danny who had it, and Danny set me up on this merry journey. So that's my read on this situation.
Matt comes to me and he's pleading his case, which the entire time I'm thinking, liar, liar, pants on fire. Truth be told, because I don't trust him. Are you kidding me? I was bamboozled the whole time I was at the Soka tribe. I should have known.
Number 32. Oh, I have a brilliant idea no one has ever suggested before. Just track me here. What if we did a season full of first boots? I know, no one has ever said this idea before me. I'm brilliant. On a serious note though, Jeff does address this question and whether it would ever even happen.
All right, I get this idea pitched as much as any other idea, and I think it sounds more fun than it might actually be, and here's why. The truth is, we do have some amazing players who were voted off first. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure we have enough for an entire season. They were first off in some cases for a reason, that for whatever reason, the tribe didn't want them around. And secondly, from a marketing standpoint, here would be your ad campaign. They were all voted out first, and now they're back to play again. Survivor 48. I don't know.
Number 33. Why don't they do the theme song at the beginning of the episode anymore? I personally think they don't want to pay someone to make an official intro package. I mean, did you see the pathetic one they threw together for social media at the last second during Winners of War? It wasn't good. In this clip you're about to hear, Jeff is going to say it's a time thing. So if he isn't lying, then that means we're going to see it return for Survivor 45 because Survivor 45 is going to have longer episodes.
I love the main title opening.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, here's the only reason it's not in the show. And the reason is, at least on network broadcast television, you only have so much time. So you're going to dedicate an entire minute, which doesn't sound like much, but I'm telling you, in 1 minute on an episode of Survivor, the entire game can change. That's how much screen time it is. So here's the thing, Jen. Yes, we'll put it on the board. Yes, we'll try to find a way to do some version of it, with the asterisk that we may never do it again, just based on time.
Number 34. Sit out Queen Claire played some masterful 4D chess when she didn't participate in any immunity challenges. So here's her top level strategy explained to us lowlifes after she was voted out.
I was the most useful sit out you could ever have had. I was so helpful to the tribe by just sitting there and looking cute and talking. And they still went for me.
Number 35. In a shocking bit of news stated during her exit interview, Claire reveals that the Ahsoka camp, it caught on fire.
We literally fell through it the first day, and then we put it too close to the fire one night, and we like loaded up the fire. This is night one. Went to bed, and we woke up to the like loudest popping because like bamboo pops. And our shelter was on fire. Like it had like spread a ring of fire. And I'm like, Danny, go. Like, you're like, firefighter, go. But like, of course, Heidi, the beast, she's awesome and like so badass, runs up and just like stomps it. Like she just like gets out of bed, stomps, and like literally prevented a full like forest fire.
Number 36. The infamous Beware advantage. Love it or hate it, it has in many ways defined the new era of Survivor. So, how was it created?
I didn't know this, that the name came before the actual idea of the advantage.
Yeah, I didn't have any idea what it was. When it became clear what it was when risk, reward, and penalty in every aspect of the game. Once we had that, then we knew we had something interesting. And Beware advantages are now a part of the game. They're not going anywhere.
Number 37. Did you all see what I saw during the Survivor 44 finale? Clearly, to me at least, it seemed like there was at least one or two people who were pro Carolyn, and then they didn't vote for her to win. Why? I seriously want to know, as clearly Franny was her biggest fan, and even months later, she's still praising her in her exit interview.
She's out there. Some people like don't get her, but I feel like I get Carolyn, right? Like I understand her. I think she's hilarious. I respect her. And so she and I had been, slowly building this like social personal bond that hadn't really yet materialized into a strategic relationship. But after Kane goes home, nobody tells me what's happening. I'm like, I need to pick a new number one, and I want it to be Carolyn. Carolyn and I spent a ton of time together, and I wish I'd gotten more time with her.
Number 38. So let's be real, the show was not at all interested in telling Jamie's story in any depth, as it didn't make a lot of sense to why people didn't believe her when she told them that Kane left with her idol. Well, as Franny explains,
I had reason to believe that Jamie was a good liar because when she showed up at Soka, she told lies for days about everything that happened on Ratu. She told us that first vote was a majority vote on Maddie. She didn't tell us anything about the birdcage idol. So when all that information comes out later, I think back and I think to myself, whoa, Jamie knows how to lie. And so she comes up to me with this crazy story. I'm like, you can't get me. Like, I'm not going to believe it for a second. When I show up at Ponderosa, that's the first question. I'm like, Kane, do you have the idol in your sock?
And he's like,
yes, I do.
Number 39. Survivor loves to try new ideas, just look at all the advantages and stuff they're throwing into the game. And then other times they love to sit on their hands, look at how we've had no theme for going on probably 5 or 6 seasons now. It's quite a strange paradox. So when they try new things, what do they do when people say they don't like it?
So often fans get so upset. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Okay. We didn't know. We're just trying. We're doing the same thing we asked the players to do. We're trying ideas, quote unquote, big moves, And then we're seeing if they work, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And then we modify and we adapt and we try it again.
Number 40. On shows like The Bachelor or Love Island or Love is Blind, it seems like almost no one is still together to this day. But that's besides the point. When I heard how many babies have been made because of Survivor, my jaw dropped.
When Mark Burnett came out to visit in Survivor 40, he had not been to location in years. When he left, we had made this giant banner, huge, and we put it at the top of this big cliff. And the helicopter flew him over it, and the banner said, 20 years, 40 seasons, 60 babies. Thanks for everything,
Oh
Mark.
my God.
Those 60 babies were made.
63. I've had 3 sons.
Okay, now it's 63. Those babies were made from people who met on our show.
Number 41. Heads up, these last 4 secrets are kind of random ones about past seasons, but they're really interesting. So in Survivor 42, apparently the show hid an advantage in a fish reward that no one ever found.
We wanted to put the idol nullifier advantage into the game. And Matt Van Wagenen, executive producer, my partner on the show, he had this idea for years. We should put an advantage inside a fish. And so the tribe wins the reward and it's fish, exactly as Matt has it laid out. They go back to their camp, and now they're going to clean the fish and get them ready to eat. The problem is the guy who decided to clean the fish was Jonathan. So he's absent-mindedly cleaning the fish and does not see in the fish is this little bamboo advantage that could change the game. And he literally cleaned the fish and threw the guts and the advantage in the Pacific Ocean, where it is still floating somewhere today.
Number 42. At the merge in season 33, there was an advantage clue that they all read and they had no idea. And to be fair, after hearing it, I wouldn't have thought about that either.
Okay, it's episode 8. It's about 6 minutes in season 33. They've merged, and we always give them a merge basket. But underneath it was a very strange note. It says, most all initial liaisons begin relaxingly. In new groups, societies always disclose very advantageous news to all. Gregarious, engaging, flirtatious, indifferent, narcissistic, defensive, inauthentic. The facade is revealed starting today. We thought for sure that this note, which was so odd, would certainly spark some curiosity. Had they studied it for a minute, they might have discovered that the first letter of every word, a very 5th grade sort of puzzle to solve, formed the following sentence. Male brings advantage, find it first. And they would have gone to tree mail and they would have found an advantage.
Number 43. Jeff is a huge fan of the Foo Fighters, so much so that during a challenge in Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, he slipped in the names of their songs so subtly that no one even noticed.
Here's one that this is a fun little Easter egg from season 35, episode 4. I had a bunch of Foo Fighter songs in my head. The titles of the song. This was just my own inside joke. And I was going to try to find places to drop these song titles within the challenge while it was happening. So it was something about, the big question you got to ask your tribe mates is, are they helping you or are they throwing you a monkey wrench into your plans? And it's another hot day in Fiji. My poor brain is fried.
Number 44. The infamous 12-hour buoy challenge of season 10 Palau is epic. And as you may have learned during my Palau secrets video, it was not planned to go on that long. In said video, you can hear Tom's perspective on it, but here's Jeff's take.
It was Survivor Palau. And the challenge was called Bob Bob on a Buoy. So we did it with the dream team and it lasted about an hour because it was painful. So we have Katie, Tom Westman, and Ian. We're an hour in. Oh, they're going longer than the dream team. That's not unusual. They got $1 million on the line. And now we're up here like 5 hours. Now the sun starts to set and we're in the middle of this little lagoon and we don't have any lights. So quickly, our team gets our pyro department and they bring some of these floating urns that have fire in them. And we're going to light the players by firelight. Tom Westman, who was a fireman, said, this wasn't in the rules. And I have smoke in my eyes. I don't like it. And I went, he's right. We did not ever say we might bring fire in. So we pull the urns out. Wow. Now we're back to darkness. We're desperately trying to get our marine department to get a generator on a boat across the ocean, get power to it, and light some lights, which we finally did, which is the only reason you can see the end of the challenge, which ended up going 11 hours and 45 minutes until finally Ian stepped down and Tom won and went on to win the game. One of the most epic challenges in the history of Survivor, and the first thing we said when it was over is that can never happen again.
So which secret surprised you the most? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.